Hello students, this is the second video related to the chapter first phase of the Indian national movement. In last video we have studied about the various phases of the Indian national movement, in which we have discussed about early nationalist, assertive phase and Gandhian era. So in last video we have discussed in detail about early nationalists, who were also known as the moderates. We have studied their aims and objectives, methods and belief. Now in this video we are going to study about some of the prominent leaders of the early nationalists who have adopted the policy of moderate. How, being moderate, they wanted their freedom back from the Britishers. So first leader which we'll be discussing here is Dadabhai Naoroji. He was also known as Grand Old Man of India and Unofficial Ambassador of India. Both names are very important, children, because this question is frequently asked in exam, that who was the Grand Old Man of India or who was known as the Unofficial Ambassador of India. Why he was known as Unofficial Ambassador? Because he was almost working like as an ambassador, but it was not declared officially. So therefore he was known as the Unofficial Ambassador of India. In 1866, he founded the East India Association in London with the aim to put across the Indian point of view before the British public. So the British people should know the problems and grievances of Indians. Therefore, he founded this association in London. He was the member of the British Parliament. In his book, again important, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, very very important, he exposes the economic exploitation of India under the British rule. According to him, how Britishers were exploiting Indians economically, that was mentioned in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. He presented drain of wealth theory, again very very important thing, children, which refers to the unilateral transfer. Unilateral means which is one way transfer of wealth from India to Britain. That means only the transfer of wealth was done from India to England, and wealth was not transferred from England to India, right? So therefore it was a unilateral transfer of wealth from India to Britain, resulting in widespread poverty and severe famine. So due to the transfer of wealth and money of India to England, it was bringing lots of poverty and famine in our country. Then he edited newspaper Rashtraguftar, and he started a new magazine, Dharmar Darshak. He thrice served as the president of the Indian National Congress in the year 1886, 1893 and 1906. In 1865, he founded, again important, London India Society in collaboration with W.C. Banerjee to publicize grievances of Indians. So whatever the problems and grief were there of the Indians, to let the people know about it, he founded this association. Due to his effort, the House of Commons passed a resolution in favor of holding the ICS examination in England as well as in India. Previously, ICS examination was only held in England, but with his effort, it was told that it will be taking place in both the places. The credit for demand Swaraj from Congress platform for the first time goes to him. That means he was the first leader who demanded for Swaraj. He took active part in the foundation of the Indian National Congress. So he was a great leader of the Indian National Congress. Now we are going to discuss about Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Children, in exam sometimes picture is being given, and you are supposed to identify the picture, and then rest of the questions are based on it. So do remember, when you are studying these political leaders, you should know to identify them even. So, Gopalakrishna Gokhale favored the use of constitutional means to achieve his goal. So, as he was a moderate leader, therefore, he emphasized on the constitutional means. He played an important role in the passing of Minto Morley reform. He set up the Servants of India Society, underline it. It is important in 1905 with an aim to train national leaders who would dedicate themselves to the service of India. He became a member of the Imperial Legislative Council where he pleaded for the reduction in salt duty. Previous you must be knowing that we used to pay taxes on the salt which we use at our home. Previously, Indians were supposed to pay tax for it, for using of it, and the abolishment of the excise duty on cotton goods. So we had to pay the excise duty on the cotton goods. So he wanted removal of these taxes. Gokhale helped Gandhiji in his fight against racial discrimination in South Africa. He convinced Gandhiji to return to India. Therefore, he is known as political mentor of Gandhiji. Please underline political mentor. That means he was a political guru of Gandhiji. So this question is also asked in exams usually, that who was known as the political mentor of Gandhiji. So it was Gopalakrishna Gokhale. He criticized the government for incurring huge expenditure over army, imposing taxes over cotton, and for racially discriminating against the Indians in appointment to high posts. So he criticized the government for various deeds. He tried his best to influence upon the British statesmen in London not to partition Bengal. So we will study in the later chapters that how the Bengal was partitioned, and he was the one who was opposing it. His untiringly efforts led to a reduction in toll tax. So he worked a lot to reduction of the toll taxes. He asked the government to reduce land revenue in India. Being an economist, so you must have noticed that he was more and more focusing on the financial issues like reduction of the excise duty, reduction of the salt duty, reduction of the toll tax, reduction of the land revenue. So most of his policies and demands were coming from economic point of view because he was an economist. So he demanded radical changes in the fiscal policy. What is fiscal? Fiscal means financial policies, and better jobs for the educated middle class. Gokhale's idea of freedom and compulsory education was proposed through his elementary education bill. He proposed an elementary education bill in which he gave the idea of free and compulsory education, which was incorporated later on in the Right to Education Act after a century. After many years, it was incorporated in an act, that was the Right to Education. Now, Surendranath Banerjee, he was popularly known as the father of Indian nationalism. He founded the Indian National Association in 1876 to fight against the wrong policies of the British. In order to create an all India political organization, he started the Indian National Conference in 1883. You remember in Indian National Conference, which later on got merged with Indian National Congress in 1885. We have discussed in chapter 2, children. Yes. So he was the one who started the Indian National Conference. He presided over two sessions of the Congress in 1895 and 1902. He edited a newspaper, Bengali, again important, which served as a powerful medium for mobilizing public opinion. So it was giving a platform for the people to raise the voices against the Britishers. His book, Nation in the Making, gives an account of his political concern and his views about self-government. He was the first Indian to qualify for the Indian Service Examinations. He was elected to Bengal Legislative Council for 4 times. He opposed various acts like Arms Act, Vernacular Press Act, the lowering of the age of appearing in the ICS examination from 21 to 19, Minto Morley reform, and the partition of Bengal. So, with this chapter, children, we end with the chapter 3. We have discussed about the early nationalist moderates, their belief, their behavior, their methods, and their political leaders. Now, in next video, we'll be studying about the assertive nationalist. Thank you.